Hello, everybody. Zon gets 134 here.
And as always, I'm Average Joe Squad.
And welcome to Remember the Hyphen special. Because this is probably going to come up before we get to the next episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Wolverine. For obvious reasons. As of 1:08 a.m. on Saturday, July 10th, we finally got a new Marvel Cinematic Universe film. That's
in the
right.
actual fucking theater.
In the actual theater.
We actually went to a real theater. We didn't pay for it on Disney Plus. We went to a fucking theater.
Sat our asses in the seats with other people, and we watched Black Widow.
Which, if we're going to count all of the Marvel movies, the last one we saw in the theater that was a brand new movie was last year when we went and saw New Mutants. That was the... I actually think it was right around the same time, too.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was right after the buyout with Disney, so it does count.
Yeah.
But yeah, so... Yeah, the latest movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Widow, more or less it's the story of, between the events of Civil War and Infinity War, Natasha is on the run from what's left of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the American government after the events of the Sokovia Accords and Civil War, when she is sent a letter from her sister, Ileana, as the fact that the Red Room, which she thought she had destroyed at...
Yelena.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you said Ileana.
Yeah,
I know, we got so many Russian names now.
Yelena, and is basically told that the Red Room, which she thought was destroyed after she defected to S.H.I.E.L.D., is still active, and Yelena, her mother, and
Melena.
Melena
is the mom.
Melena. I was more blanking on Redguard.
Oh, Alexei.
Alexei, better known as the Russian.
I took a Russian history class in college, so I'm kind of familiar with Russian names and pronunciations.
Better known as, well, to be fair,
not good enough to carry a convo in Russian with it, but
better known as the Russian Captain America, Red Guardian, are teaming up to stop it, and that's more or less the basic premise of the film.
Yeah. Now we won't spoil too much of it because we want you to go see it.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people are pumped about finally kind of getting back to normal.
Yeah.
In that we're getting Marvel movies again. I know that for me, I felt like this was like, because we work retail, you know, so we've slowly the last couple months been kind of getting back to normal. Tonight, honestly, was probably the most real day we've had in a while, because the whole day I was like, going to see a movie, going to see a movie, going to see a movie. Actually get in the theater. It was... Things are normal again in my eyes.
Yeah, and also the first theater experience we had where there's actually people in the theater this late at night. If you remember when we
packed crowd too.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of people, which we usually go late because we like to avoid really big crowds.
Yeah. And also it's just more convenient for us given the way we work.
Yeah.
But like the last couple movies we went to were like the Superman and Batman movies when we went and saw them when
Nightmare on Elm Street.
And Nightmare on Elm Street.
Star Wars Episode 5.
Yeah, and aside from us,
it was like a ghost town.
Like it was like we had like our own special like theater, and so like it was kind of nice to actually have people.
I think the most we had was when we went and saw New Mutants, and there was, besides me, Adam, and Riley, there was a couple in there. But that was it.
I'm pretty sure we're in there just to bang because they thought that there would be no one else. But yeah, so
they're just like, you came to the wrong fucking franchise for this shit.
Actually, Birds of Prey, we went to saw that too, didn't have anybody, although I don't think it was because of COVID.
Just because nobody gave a shit.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're not going to spoil the whole movie. We will probably talk a little bit about the movie, but...
So obviously, spoilers ahead.
Yep. Honestly, spoilers ahead. If you want, go see the movie, come back here. Otherwise, I will admit, I liked it. I think I would give it about an 8 out of 10.
That's probably going to be right where I'm at, too. Right around, like, I would actually probably rank it, like, 8.5.
Yeah. Only real complaints I have with this is that it is kind of just an in-between story that I feel like should have came out the last phase instead of the phase after
Natasha's
death in games. So, like I do get, if you feel like it's kind of pointless to go see it, I don't personally, because like I enjoyed it anyways, because it was nice to actually have Natasha get any sort of character outside of just being there for the Avengers.
I was pumped to go see it before it got delayed into the fucking ground.
Yeah, I do think I do worry that the delay is going to.
I remember like we were kind of like, well, that's a little different. I mean, we're gonna go see it. Then it got delayed, and we're like, okay, that sucks. Yeah. Then it got delayed again. Then it got delayed again, and then I remember like they finally seemed like they had the date set.
Yeah.
And you and I were like, okay, we're finally gonna go see this fucking movie.
It was supposed to come out in April, wasn't it? April.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out in April, and then they announced, hey, we're pushing it back to July, and it's going to release on Disney Plus and in theaters at the same time. Because I remember that was a really big holdup. It was kind of like it was almost like they didn't want to put it out on Disney Plus.
I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they experimented with the live action Mulan, which already
was a fucking terrible one to go with.
Well, not only that, like it was one of the many live action Disney films that, well, I know people like to go see them.
People aren't going to pay $30.
People, yeah, 30. Like who the like. We didn't even pay that much for to go see this in the theater.
$8. I paid $8 to go see it in the theater.
Like, it'd be one thing if I were to pay like $20 on, because like that's like the amount you would pay for like a DVD.
Or like say if you got a really big family, that you guys would pay that much in just ticket prices. I can see how that would be a good deal.
Yeah, but like
if you're just like a couple buddies going to see it, it's way worth it just to go see it in the theater than to pay Disney Plus prices.
And again, like. They went with a movie that like
nobody cared about,
and not only that had like all that controversy with the Chinese government.
I was about to say I don't remember anybody saying anything positive about that fucking movie before it even came out.
Yeah, like what?
So why the fuck would they go with that one instead of just, I don't know, do a Marvel one, which you would make the money.
Yeah,
instead of I remember a big concern of mine going into this film was that it had been delayed so many times that I was worried people were going to be like, don't give a shit because I was interested a year ago, now I don't care.
Yeah, because like I thought this was going to be the same problem with New Mutants, like because that was also like they had a lot of.
You and I both enjoyed New Mutants.
Yeah, I did enjoy New Mutants.
So I worry this film might not do as well as they hoped it would just because of that. But I feel like it's got enough working for it in that it's the first one we've had in like a year.
Well, because I looked up how long this movie was going to be because I was like, if it's going to be like 3 hours, I was like, I don't know if I want to record right after this, so we could just record tomorrow night. But I did see like it's doing pretty well like here and domestically, so I don't think they're not making their money on this one. But anyway, sorry, radio's going off. I hope that doesn't pick up on the mic.
It shouldn't.
But
want me to go out there and tell him to turn his shitty music off?
Nah, that's all right. But basically, going in, I did have a little bit of hesitancy, but I do think the movie is worth it. It's a very good, it reminds
solid
me,
action.
Yeah, solid action. It's a great spy thriller. Like it reminds me a lot of
Winter Soldier.
Actually,
they name drop.
They name drop.
I remember looking at you, and be like,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. Actually, it reminded me a lot of the story Batman and Robin Eternal because it has a similar plot line, and also at the time that was when Dick was a super spy for the organization Spiral.
They also show a James Bond movie, and me and him were both like, "Why'd you pick one of the shitty ones? Yeah, it's Moonraker. Why would you pick Moonraker?"
Natasha's on the run, and she's living out like in like the bumfuck woods of Norway or wherever the fuck that was.
That was Norway.
I thought it was Norway. And she has like a camper with like a generator, and she decides, might as well relax for the evening. Pop in Moonraker.
Which I'm like, why fucking Moonraker?
Like, of all the Bond films Disney could have paid for.
It took me a minute to realize which one it was. I knew it was a Roger Moore one, but then I was like, is this fucking Moonraker?
No, the moment they showed the villain from that movie, which I can't even remember his fucking name because I hate that movie that much, I was like, oh my god, you're watching Moonraker? Like of all the films?
God, it's not even like...
It's not even
one of the good Die or Man with the Golden Gun.
Like,
it's not even a good Moore.
Or The Spy Who Loved Me.
It's not even one of the good Moore ones.
Yeah, like the good Moore. Like,
well, I don't know if she would go for a Spy Who Loved Me because they kill a shit ton of Russians in that.
I mean, fair. I mean, she's a Russian defector, so I don't know how much love she has for Russia.
I don't know, but anyway, the score was really.
The score was really.
I went and bought the
solid.
score right when the credits were rolling. I'm like, I need this album.
And also some really good music choices for like when it shows like Natasha as a child in like 1995, and they play fucking that cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Which it took me a minute to recognize what it was. I knew the medley, and I was like, wait a minute, is this what I think it is?
No, I was like, oh yeah, that is. And I'm like,
because I turned to you and I'm like, it's fucking Nirvana.
Well, it kind of makes sense because this takes place, 95. 95, which is the same year that Captain Marvel was taking place, and they used Nirvana in that too. So
it makes sense too, because Kurt had only been dead a year.
Yeah, well that night,
point. Plus it was still that big at that point.
Well, that night, I just assumed Disney was like, we need some band that's like
synonymous with the 90s.
Nirvana. Well, yeah, because you can't do like bubblegum pop shit. It was like
David Geffen's making some bank.
Yeah,
as of late.
definitely making some bank.
Or whoever the hell owns David Geffen Records anymore. But I can't remember who. But they got bought out recently.
Yeah, but like otherwise the sound. Yeah, there's some really good pieces. Like it really sets the tone very well for this movie.
Set and costume design were all excellent.
Yeah. I really loved the fucking Red Guardian, aka Russian Captain America, because that's probably what everyone is just going to call him.
He's still frozen at that point. You calling me a liar?
You're calling me a liar? I really liked him. Like I thought I wasn't going to, as like but like he was a lot of fun. Like I like that he was very boisterous and had sort of a similar feel, in my opinion, to like Steve himself, even if he is a bit more of like a braggart. I really liked Yelena, aka kind of Black Widow too, because I think they just call her a Black Widow in the comics.
Anymore, she's White Widow.
Yeah, although every time I watch the movie, I just call her Blonde Widow because she's just blonde and Natasha's a redhead, so I'm just like, oh, it's Blonde Widow, just because I think that rolls better. You know, Black Widow, Blonde Widow. It's poetry, it rhymes. But yeah, I really liked her. I liked their mom a lot. Like I really liked the cast we got with.
Yeah, the cast was really good. I think everybody brought the A game. I don't really think there was a dud acting wise in the whole movie.
Yeah, if I were to have any real complaint with this movie,
is it Taskmaster?
Yeah, Taskmaster
is fucking lame.
Like
I remember looking at him and just being like, why is the one in the Avengers game better? And that game is ass.
Fuck, he's better in the Spider-Man games. In Spider-Man, he's just a challenge for like missions. He's not even really that interesting.
It's just like a combat training thing in the PS4 game.
This Taskmaster
shit was annoying in that game.
This Taskmaster is very different from like traditional Taskmaster. I won't go into it because it's kind of a big spoiler for this movie, and you should watch it for yourself. But man, this Taskmaster sucks. Like the costume looks
fucking terrible.
Like I get it. Like
I thought it looked like ass in the trailer, but I thought maybe they would give Taskmaster a better costume in like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
No.
And I get it. Like they can't just do like the weird skull mask that he has because it wouldn't look very good. It would look
fucking ridiculous.
Well, he'd look like a Power Rangers villain. Like, which was my problem with the way Apocalypse looked in X-Men Apocalypse, which you should watch that episode. It's out now. But hashtag synergy. But he looks like shit. Like the mask looks like it looks like something I could buy at Party City.
Looks like a cosplay I could hobble together with some shit laying around the house.
And he just does really stupid things. Like in the comics, Taskmaster's supposed to be this amazing mercenary who can like
Doug.
Yeah,
he's a fucking mercenary.
Told you not to mention that. But like he can take on like teams of Avengers. He's like Deathstroke, but without the sexual harassment and misconduct. Here he's just lame. Like in the opening fight with him and Natasha, he gets taken out by Natasha using like a grappling hook. Or when he's supposed to be like this, the Red Room's like, like quiet eraser. He's chasing Black Widow and Yelena through the streets with a fucking like SWAT team car, like those big armored like tank things that they have. APCs, thank you.
Armored personnel carrier.
I don't know what they're called, so thank you. Which I'm sorry, that scene was straight out of like Tomorrow Never Dies, except it wasn't a helicopter. That was straight up
something I noticed too. If you have watched the clip that they released of of Yelena and Natasha like in the SUV, the dialogue is different. I noticed. I was the first thing I noticed because they got to that scene. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get the your plan sucks line, which because that amused the shit out of me when I saw it. Different dialogue. I'm like, I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Oh,
I thought the clip they released was funnier.
It was. Like he's just so lame. Like when he's chasing them in the armored vehicle, he pulls out a bow because he's like, I'm gonna shoot like Hawkeye because that's like, you're in a moving vehicle. Like I don't care how good Hawkeye is, use a fucking gun. Like,
I mean, I hate to be this guy.
No,
that is a thing. I've done that before.
Why?
Like shoot from a moving thing with a bow. That's not that hard.
I mean, fair.
Anybody could do that.
I mean, he also has like Winter Soldier skills, so like I don't know. But I mean, it doesn't do him good because he manages to bounce the van away from them, and they get away. So I just think this Taskmaster sucks ass. Like, he gets beaten by getting thrown into like a jail cell and the door closed on him. Like, the Taskmaster I know could get out of that. Like, the only character I've ever seen Taskmaster have any trouble with is fucking Deadpool. I just guess Deadpool has no fighting style because he's an insane lunatic. Although I always argue he shouldn't be able to get beaten by Spider-Man just because Spider-Man doesn't really have a fighting style. He usually relies on just his spider sense and his superhuman abilities. But anyway, your thoughts on Taskmaster?
You pretty much said all I want to talk about with Taskmaster. He's lame.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we devoted like 7 minutes to Taskmaster sucks.
Yeah, like super lame. I will admit it was kind of funny seeing Redguard as being Black Widow's dad, because in the comics technically they were married at one point.
Were they really?
Yeah. Well, because like I want to say actually, because it's kind of weird because I remember Black Widow was also, no, I'm thinking of a different thing, because originally Ant-Man was also a Russian like sleeper agent for like, and then he defected because he was actually married to another female Russian spy, which I think later they retconned into being Black Widow. But yeah,
a lot of that sleeper, nothing to rob, but like a lot of that sleeper agent shit. As a history guy, I'm like, wow, this is straight out of my wheelhouse.
No, that one I do. Cool. That one I'm pretty familiar.
There's some evidence of that.
Because like I'm familiar a little bit with the comic stuff with Natasha, just because like I'm a big Iron Man guy, and she originally debuted as an Iron Man villain. At least comic book wise, I know she was originally in like novels before Marvel bought her.
Her original appearance was in Tales to Astonish. I can't remember what issue number, but it's in the Epic collection.
Well, I actually own that because I have it in that Iron Man Essential. But yeah, like because I think she was sent to assassinate the original Crimson Dynamo. No, actually, she was sent to, I think, steal secrets from Tony. And then later she was sent there to assassinate the Crimson Dynamo, the first Crimson Dynamo. They actually referenced the Crimson Dynamo, which I was like, yes! Because I love Crimson Dynamo. At least the hero of Crimson Dynamo. But it was cool seeing all these Russian, like, Marvel references. It would have been kind of cool to see some of the other Russian characters. Like, I would have actually liked to seen, like, Titanium Man or, like, the Crimson Dynamo. I know it wouldn't really have made sense here, but, like, it would just been kind of cool to, like, see some of them and, like, the other members of the Winter Guard, which is basically the Russian equivalent of the Avengers in a sense. Although they're, like, run by the state. So, you know, they fight for glorious Mother Russia. Which I actually do own a graphic novel. I've been meaning to read it, of a Winter Guard thing.
Near the end, we went and saw it with our buddy Riley, who couldn't make it for the episode, but he was trying to figure out how how this helicarrier falls out of the fucking sky, and I'm just like, Riley, these are the same people that used the reactor at Chernobyl until 1999. They can't fucking build anything worth a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but he also was complaining about, like, about like fall physics, and I'm like, bro, it's a movie.
Comic book movie. It's not going to be 100% realistic.
Like this ain't a Nolan Bat film.
At that point, Natasha would have been dead from falling in the water at one point, because that would have been the equivalent of smashing into concrete.
Yeah. I mean, granted, at least Natasha has the excuse of being genetically like altered to be as tough as a brick shit house. But although to be fair, they do kind of get away with Alexei being married to a Black Widow, since their mom is also a Black Widow.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure probably is going to be confusing to a lot of people. Like, wait, there's like multiple Black Widows? Which, yeah, because like, because originally I think Natasha was the only Black Widow, but later they kind of retconned in that like the Black Widows were like a spy program for Russia. Because I think the Red Room was like, because you said that came in like
it's based on some KGB level shit.
Well, I meant more than some of those graphic novels you want to loan me. I thought was like where it was like introduced into like the
not graphic novels.
Oh, that was actual books.
Those are actual books.
Or I'm sorry, I meant.
No, you're good.
I meant books.
Yeah, those are actual books.
Sorry, it's late.
Well, because I mentioned I'm sure a lot of people don't know about these. There are 2 Black Widow novels, Red Shadows and Red Vengeance, that were actually written to be in canon, but I think they've since been retconned or made just like the TV shows. It's debatable, but like I feel like they borrowed a bit from those with these. I mean, I feel like it worked really, really well.
Speaking of, and this is kind of, I would recommend you seeing the Disney Plus stuff, particularly Falcon and Winter Soldier, because there actually is some tie-in to And I think
if you haven't been watching the shows, watch the fucking shows. They're going to tie in.
Because like going forward, I think they are going to have a lot more meshing than like say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some of the other Disney shows that they did.
Yeah.
Which
because I know there have been some people that are like, I don't want to watch the shows. It's like, well, if you want to know what's going on, then you can't complain. If you choose not to watch them, you can't complain.
Yeah. If not, like, I would at least, like, scour a wiki so that you can kind of figure out some of the stuff that's going to happen, because, like, there is an end credits scene at the end of this, and it's, like I said, it's going to be...
It's going to tie directly into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
So you really are going to have to at least...
know what the fuck's going on.
But yeah, no, I actually thought that was kind of interesting, because like I know Feige has been saying forever that these shows are not going to be like,
he didn't really want anything major happening in them. Which,
seeing as how like Falcon and Winter Soldier is also tying into the next Captain America movie, I'm like, I don't think that's possible anymore. Like I think we're at a point where like a lot of the movie fans are like comic book fans, where it's like, yeah, you have to know the tie-in material. Like we're getting to that point where it's...
You're telling me the casuals are actually learning?
Well, I don't know about that, but like we're getting to this point where like comics, you can't just
pick and choose.
Well, I mean, you can still kind of do that. Like I mean, if you're one of those guys that's like, oh, I just want to watch certain heroes, I don't think that's impossible. But like,
there's gonna be some shit where you just don't know what's going on.
So like, you're gonna have to wiki dive, which, you know, in the day and age where you can literally
just Google it,
just like, you have the wiki at your fingertips. I don't really see why that's such a big deal. But yeah, I was kind of interesting, because I feel like now I kind of want to go back and watch all the shows again, because I'm like, oh, what's gonna like matter from this show, or how's this going to tie into the next phases. Although this movie also does kind of make me excited for one of the shows coming up, because I'm curious how this movie is going to play into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Do you
I've got really not a little tongue-tied right now. I don't really have anything else to offer except go watch it. I really, really enjoyed it. I already was planning on probably I was gonna enjoy it anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to, which is always a pleasant surprise.
I also agree. I was really worried how much, if this is gonna feel like a prequel thing, where I was just gonna be like, well, this is just basically filling gaps, or it explains stuff I don't care about. But no, this is really a nice, mostly contained story that just has like tie-in and repercussions to what's going forward. So I will admit I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this movie. I'm glad I went and saw it in the big screen, because I think this is definitely showing what's in store for Phase 4, and I'm very happy that we're kind of putting to rest some stuff from Phase 3 and moving forward with it with some very interesting ideas for it. So anyway, guys, that's probably gonna wrap it up for this episode. I know it's shorter, but like,
go watch the fucking movie.
Yeah, go watch the movie. It's new. Go watch it. It's available in theaters, Disney Plus. If you don't want to go to the theater,
you can always pirate it. We're not going to endorse that.
Yeah, we don't endorse it, but you know that
there's always crime is always an ingredient somewhere.
Yeah, but you know, like, it's just, I'm just glad to be finally back. So, you know, after like a season and a half where we haven't had like almost any new movies.
I remember when everything got delayed, you and I were like, well, fuck, throw the Notebook back. All right, we're just going to have to wing this shit now.
Yeah, because like we had so many plans before COVID hit. And then
we went immediately back to the drawing board. Like, yeah, fuck, we got to figure something out now.
Because like a lot of our plans were going to be, you know, we were trying to plan like months and stuff around around the movies. And so now it's going to be kind of interesting going forward, where we have like, where season 2 and half of season 3 was just, here's this random shit we're talking about today. now it's like, oh shit, we've got to get tied in so we can actually get some views. But anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Like I said, go see Black Widow. It's very good. And glad to be back. So also look forward to the next couple episodes of Good, Bad, and Wolverine. We're getting to 100 episodes, guys. So stick around, and in a couple more weeks, we're going to be doing the 2-year anniversary of Remember the Hyphen.
And for the rest of July, it's the month of America's ass. We're going to be reviewing all the Captain movies. But until then, guys, I'm Average Joe Squad.
And I'm Zongetsu 134.
And as always,
we ask you,
remember the hyphen?
And take care. Novich.